When you're asking for career advice and you approach someone who is in corporate, a lot of the times they'll tell you that you need to become really good at what you do so that you can be able to get promotions, rise the ranks, and get paid higher in corporate. Well, in today's video, I'm going to tell you the reasons why being good at your job is not exactly the thing that you should be doing in corporate, because it is a trap, especially when you're working at a 9 to 5. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Gloria, and let's get to it. The first reason why being good at your job in corporate is not a good idea, it's because becoming too good at your job is actually a trap. Let me explain. So the first reason why becoming too good at your job is a trap is because a lot of the times competence is usually equated to the value, or rather to the negotiating power, that your manager, your supervisor, or someone who is working above you will leverage to be able to earn more, get more recognition, or even get promoted, especially in the managerial team. So having you being good at the exact role you're working in, especially in corporate, will require them to keep you in that position so that you make them look good for whatever it is they want to achieve in corporate. The second reason why being too good at your job is actually a trap is because when you become too good at that particular role, you are labeled as someone who is competent, someone who is a worker, someone who owns that role, as compared to a leader. If you become extremely good at your job, people are coming to ask questions from you, people are coming to ask you to do their job for them because you complete your job at a higher rate compared to others. People are coming to ask for your assistance and your help in their role. You'll find that you're juggling, instead of you working on your role, you're juggling many other roles that you're not being paid for, whereby people will look at you as the workhorse as compared to a leader. And most of the time, especially if you're aiming to get a promotion in corporate, you need to be labeled as a leader, not a workhorse. And then the third reason is you are going to be absorbing the risk that usually happens in the particular team or in the particular area you're working in. So what that essentially means is when you are working at a specific role and you're really good at it, a lot of the times you will absorb the risks that come with it. That means they're not going to pay you more. Rather, if someone gets laid off and you're good at your job, a lot of the times you're going to be assigned to really work on those other areas before they even hire for someone else. Mainly because the company knows they can rely on you. They know that when they call upon you to actually attempt or attend to a task that they're not able to attend to, you're still going to deliver quality results because you've already been labeled as someone who can be able to work under pressure. You can be able to complete your tasks on time or even before time, so you can be able to absorb more tasks in corporate, and that is a risk, especially in your career. The second reason is because promotions do not follow hard work. Rather, they follow visibility and positioning. In corporate, the rules of promotion are very different, especially if you're working in a company that has regulations, and you'll probably be facing renegotiation. You have to face HR when you're looking for a promotion, a salary raise, or things like that. The reason being is because a lot of the times the people who are going to be promoted must meet at least two of these three things. They need to have executive presence, they need to be good presenters and communicators, and then the third thing is they need to make the company look good. That is all about perception, not hard work. Because if you're good at your role, that's still well and good, but you also need to work on your perception. That means you need to think about positioning. That is, how do people think about you? What is the first thing that comes to mind when people think about you in your specific role or in that company? Do people even know you in that company? Because it's very, very important to have at least people who know you exist in that company, and you bring a certain level of value to the table when it comes to the profits, when it comes to the projects, as well as the results they get overall as a company. So it's very, very important to work on your positioning. The second thing you need to work on is your visibility, people need to know you exist. That is going to look like you have to start speaking up in meetings. If you don't, you also need to ensure that you are presenting to stakeholders. You get a couple of people who are in higher positions in corporate to know you exist, because this is going to be the group of people or the network that is going to vouch for you, especially if you're looking for a salary raise, if you want to get a promotion, or even if you are fighting your chance in a performance plan or even in a performance check with the HR. And then the third thing that you need to work on is executive presence. That is going to translate into ensuring you're confident. The way you wear, the way you make your manager look good, as well as how you present yourself in the company, is going to be your fighting chance to ensure that people know your presence, because confidence and executive presence are one and the same. This is going to be equated to how you're gonna present the company outside when you're going to functions, when you've been sent by the company to learn about something or improve in a training, or to represent them in another function in corporate. They're going to really look at your executive presence, which is the confidence you're portraying about the company and the value the company is bringing. And then the third reason is because corporate does not actually work the same way that you actually think and work. Let me explain. Corporate math is usually equated to the value you can bring to the company. So they're going to measure your impact, they're going to measure your visibility, and they're also going to measure the transformation you've been able to bring to the company. And that means they're going to equate that value to a number. So this is the amount of salary they're going to be paying you. And you need to give them a reason why they need to pay you more as compared to the value they've already attached to you, because it's very, very important for corporate to understand that this is the value, this is the impact that they're going to get when they're working with you. If they don't understand that, then when you're asking for a promotion, when you're asking for a salary raise, or whatever it is you're asking from them, they're not going to consider it, because they don't see the reason why they're supposed to give it to you. Because in corporate, every value or every transformation or any competence you're bringing to the company, it has a number. So this is the thing that you need to understand about corporate. They don't reward loyalty because they don't understand what loyalty is. The only thing they understand is what are their profit margins looking like. The other thing they only understand is corporate finance. What does their balance sheet look like? Are they making profit or are they making losses? And how can they be able to ensure that when they're working with you, they're still making, the math is making sense. So you need to also understand corporate finance, not everything, just a little bit about corporate finance. And let me give you a crash course about the things that you need to know about corporate finance. The first thing you need to understand is how the company is performing. So have they been making losses or have they been making profits? It's very, very essential to keep checking in with the company. When you guys are having stakeholder meetings, listen attentively to hear how the company has been performing, because when you are aware about whether they're making profits or losses, you can be able to plan how you are going to approach the situation, whether you want a promotion or you want a salary raise. The second thing you need to understand about corporate finance is everything is a balance sheet. You're just a number in their balance sheet. So if you are a number in their balance sheet, then you need to increase profit. That to mean you need to understand what is the value that you can bring to the company for them to be able to increase their profit margins. And it's very, very important for you to understand that a lot of the corporate decisions that are made are usually made because of the financial implications they are getting. So if they decide to go with an outside hire compared to them promoting internally, it is a financially driven decision. So you need to understand what is that finances, what does their balance sheet look like, so that you can be able to understand how can you improve your chances of getting these people to go with what you actually want them to do for you. And then the other thing, I think this is a myth that a lot of us usually have: waiting to be noticed will never work. waiting for someone to notice you are early to arrive and last to leave, waiting for your manager to notice that you're very competent, you're even assisting your other team members with their work, waiting for people to just notice that you're bringing transformation and impact in corporate. It doesn't happen. A lot of the times, the people who take credit for your work, the people who benefit from what you're doing, the people who are getting assistance from you, they usually get the recognition more because they're speaking up. They're the ones to talk in meetings. They're the ones to bring out the ideas you had shared with them privately. And that is how they get recognition. So if you're waiting for someone to notice you because you're doing good work, you're competent in what you do, you're delivering results in your role, it's never gonna happen. You need to start speaking up for yourself, and that's how corporate works. Now, let's talk about how you can actually build a career strategy that is going to work for you in corporate. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna start documenting your work. So if you've made an impact in your job, if you've made an impact in your role, if you've made an impact in a specific project, ensure you document it. Document it to mean make sure you have email receipts. So once a supervisor or a manager has assigned you a task and you're working on it, ensure you email them acknowledging the progress you've made or acknowledging the impact you've been able to bring in that particular project. The second way of documenting is you need to screenshot any congratulatory messages, any approval messages you're getting, any information that they're giving to you, like feedback, and it's positive. Make sure you have screenshot. Document every approval or appreciation or appraisal you're getting, because this is going to be very, very important, especially if you're going to renegotiate your contract and ask for a raise or a promotion. The second step, or the second thing you're gonna build, is your presence and your visibility. That means you are going to proactively be asking your supervisor to give you or assign you tasks where you are going to be presenting to stakeholders in the corporate place you're working in. So when you're having meetings and your team has been assigned to present something, or you're having those overhaul meetings at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month where every team has to present their progress and what they've been able to achieve, you are going to volunteer to be the person to present this. That is the first step of visibility, because people will recognize you from the presentations you've been performing or you've been doing over the course of the year. The second thing you're gonna do is, aside from creating a relationship with your manager, you're also going to build relationship with other team managers and other supervisors, and even with the leadership team. So those are your C-suite executives. You're going to identify people who you're gonna build relationship with, because this is going to serve as leverage, especially when you are being highlighted to be someone to be let go, or you're negotiating for a salary raise, or you even want a promotion. And then the third step, or the third thing that you're going to include in your career strategy, is going to be, you're going to build your professional career narrative. That is going to be, you are going to build systems that are going to help you specifically to succeed in your role. So if it's systems with regards to communication, if it's systems with regards to presentation, if it's systems with regards to you delivering on the day-to-day tasks that you have to, or even politely declining to work on projects that are above your work responsibilities, ensure you do that so that you deliver regardless of what the situation looks like, and you deliver with the level of quality that you want to deliver that work in. And then the second thing that you're gonna do to create your professional narrative is you are going to ensure that you speak up for yourself. So say you are working in a role that is really, really prominent, you are going to build leverage outside work. That means you will start using LinkedIn to talk about what you've been able to achieve. You are going to be building in public or even doing articles about what you've been able to achieve, so that you can build a professional narrative around what you are able to deliver, that you can leverage in future when you want a promotion, when you're going to another company, or when you're applying for a new role. And then the third thing, which is actually a bonus point, is you are going to start skill stacking. Skill stacking to mean you are going to identify skills that are maybe related or not related to what you're doing, and you're gonna be improving yourself progressively throughout the year, so that by the time you're coming to an end, and by the time you're coming to a situation where you feel that you need to renegotiate something, you already have the skill capital that is going to help you deliver better results, so that the company can have you and value you better. So that is what I wish someone had told me when I was starting my corporate career, because some of the things I've shared with you here, I had to learn them the hard way. So I'm hoping that you guys have taken notes and you are going to put into practice what you've learned from this particular video. If you have any questions pertaining to what I've shared in this video, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. But otherwise, I'm hoping that you guys have learned something from this video. If you have, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I am going to see you in the next one.